So this week we're going to talk about statistics, and statistics are a set of mathematical procedures for organizing, summarizing, and interpreting information, just like your slide says. And there's two major categories of statistics. The first one is descriptive statistics, and with descriptive statistics, that's something most of you guys are probably familiar with. That's where you might look for the mean or the median, and you use a standard deviation. And with these, we're just trying to summarize or organize our data. The other kind is called inferential statistics, and with inferential statistics, you're trying to reach conclusions that extend beyond the immediate data alone. So, for instance, we might use inferential statistics to try to infer from the sample data what the population might think, or we use inferential statistics to make judgments of the probability that an observed difference between groups is actually a dependable one, or one that might have happened by chance and is not dependable in our particular study. So we use inferential statistics to make inferences from our data to more general conditions, and we use descriptive statistics just simply to describe what's going on with our data. Hypothesis testing. The purpose with hypothesis testing is what it says here: to allow researchers to use sample data to make inferences about whatever population of interest that we're looking at is. And we do that by having what we call a research hypothesis. And our research hypothesis states an expectation about the relationship between two different variables. And to test that, we state the hypothesis about the population. We get our random sample from the population like we talked about last week, and then we compare that sample data with the prediction. And the way we get our hypothesis is, first of all, we have what we call a null hypothesis. So we have two opposing hypotheses, and this assumption, the first one here, is called the null hypothesis, and we know that null means nothing. And it's symbolized by an H and a subscript 0, and it's pronounced H sub O. And the H stands for hypothesis, the 0 subscript that this has zero effect, or it's the null hypothesis. And in the context of an experiment, H sub O predicts that the independent variable, so whatever the treatment is, will have no effect on the dependent variable for that population. We also have to have an alternative population, and we call this the H sub 1, or the research hypothesis. Whatever it is that you're hoping to find is called the alternative hypothesis, research hypothesis, or H sub 1. We want you to be really confused. Sorry. Thus, in your study, you hope to be able to disprove or to reject that null hypothesis, that H sub O, and thereby support, now understand you're not proving anything, but support your H sub 1, the hypothesis that's close to your heart or that you're looking for. We're going to stop here, but in the next section I'm going to give you an example of how that works.